It's time for our basic first mark sheet of the match. Let's see how Sanjay Manjrekar marks players from the Mumbai Indians and the Kolkata Knight Riders.
Basic First, specialized platform for JEE Main Advanced, NEET and 6 to 12.
Right, let's start with Rahul Chahar, then Sanjay. And Mumbai, you could say, effectively won this game by restricting Kolkata to the score that they did. And Rahul Chahar was a key part of that. 2 wickets and 2 balls, finishing with just 18 runs conceded of his 4 overs. How would you mark him out of 10 for today's performance?
Well, he was economical. 18 4 overs in a T20 game is amazing. 2 good wickets, Shubman Gill and Dinesh Karthik, which actually put the dampener on the whole innings. Plus, there was nothing in the pitch for him. It's not one of those rank turners on which he revels. So, based on that, hard to take any marks away from him. So, 10 out of 10.
All right, Jasprit Bumrah. You think every time Bumrah gets the ball, his job is to get the most dangerous batsman in the opposition out, and more often than not, he doesn't disappoint. Got Andre Russell, could have had Pat Cummins, but for a drop catch, but 1 for 22 for Bumrah. How would you mark him out of 10 today?
Yeah, that's what champions do. They're called for the big moments, and the biggest threat in the opposition was Andre Russell. Had he got going, who knows, what target Mumbai Indians would have had to chase. And the way he got Russell out was great. It was a short ball, which he almost fended off rather than trying to play an attacking shot and miscuing it and getting out. And then he made the adjustment to Pat Cummins, who actually launched into all the other bowlers but couldn't get Bumrah away, because then suddenly he brought in his other extreme skill of bowling slow and short. So for the versatility and the control of variations, Bumrah again, hard to take any marks away from him. 10 out of 10.
Brilliant. Well, Quinton de Kock didn't wrap himself in glory with that Cummins drop catch, but he made up for it with the bat. 78, not out of 4, really took the KKR bowlers on. How would you mark Quinton de Kock out of 10, Sanjay?
Yeah, after the drop catch, you could see that he was so crestfallen. And then he had that little moment with Bumrah, and you could see that he was really feeling very bad about it. So for that, I'm not going to deduct any marks. He may have dropped a catch, but he showed a lot of remorse, and I like people like that. But his batting was just high quality. I mean, people thought at the start of the season he's got a weakness against the short ball, but some brilliant shots. Plus, said there was some drives, and he stayed there till the end. And when he bats, he just bats selflessly. There's no thought of trying to stay there till the end or look for a score for him. So he just bats and punishes any ball that's meant to be punished. So for a guy who's selfless and such a quality batsman and a threat at the top, and today's innings was one of his better ones that we've seen. So 10 out of 10.
All right, let's move to the Kolkata Knight Riders. And Pat Cummins, such a big player for them. Sanjay continues to go wicketless with ball, but did score a very important half-century for whatever it was worth with bat. 53 not out for Cummins. How would you mark him out of 10 for today's all-round performance?
Well, Cummins is in the team as a bowler. So, as a bowler, he didn't quite do the job. It wasn't an easy one because the score wasn't enough. And there was a class batting lineup to contend with. But he, started off poorly against Rohit Sharma. 2 balls on the leg side that got flicked for 4. So bowling wasn't great, but his batting has to be used a little more by KKR. It doesn't seem like it's a fluke. Every time he bats, there's something there with his batting, so they could use it. But because his main job is bowling, and it wasn't really as per his expectation as well, I would say 7 out of 10.
All right, what about Owen Morgan? Big game for him, given new leadership and new change of leadership and new role for Morgan, but not the most fluent innings from the KKR captain. How would you mark him out of 10 today?
I'm a little disappointed with Morgan's progress, and how the season has gone after that one innings, which I thought would set him free and would have got rid of all the IPL issues and Indian conditions, because this is a guy who comes with a reputation of being this fantastic T20 player. But we're just not seeing the best of Owen Morgan. He's been inconsistent, and today was a case of him hardly getting anything, in the middle of the bat. Didn't look fluent until the very last when he hit a couple of sixes. So not a convincing innings, and I want somebody of his experience and class, having got a score, to get that confidence and the form going for longer and more consistently. So 6 out of 10 for Morgan, please.
And finally, for KKR, not many runs to defend, but Varun Chakravarti still did a respectable job, 1 for 25 of his 4 overs. How would you mark the mystery spin out of 10?
It wasn't great in the field, couple of lapses, but that is okay. There was one difficult catch there. But somebody who, had just one game has become this go-to bowler for KKR. So you've got to bear that in mind. He's a young player who hasn't played a lot of first-class cricket. So considering all that KKR are going to him for the big moments, and he doesn't disappoint them, you've got to score him quite high. I would say 8 out of 10.
All right. Thank you very much, Sanjay Manjrekar, for marking players from Kolkata and Mumbai. That rounds up our basic first mark sheet of the match.
Basic First, specialized platform for JEE Main Advanced, NEET and 6 to 12.